Why do I feel abandoned by God during intense suffering? Have you ever felt like you're crying out to God and getting no reply? That sense of being alone in pain is something many people experience, especially during tough times. When suffering hits hard, it can seem like God's presence has disappeared, leaving us in silence. But this feeling is not new or unusual in the Bible. In the Old Testament, the Psalms show us many honest prayers where people ask why God seems distant. Psalm 22 begins with a cry that sounds like Jesus on the cross, saying, my God, why have you forsaken me?" This honest plea shows that feeling abandoned is part of the human experience, even in Scripture. Yet, these Psalms also move toward trust, reminding us that feelings of abandonment are temporary and can lead to renewed hope. Jesus himself experienced this feeling on the cross, quoting Psalm 22, which reveals that even God's Son felt separated from God during suffering. His cry was real, but it was part of God's plan for redemption. The wisdom books like Job and Ecclesiastes also explore suffering and divine silence. Job, despite losing everything, keeps talking to God and asks questions, not giving up faith. These stories teach us that suffering can be a time of testing and growth, helping us trust God's justice and care more deeply. When you feel abandoned, remember that these feelings are part of biblical stories and do not mean God has left you. Talk to God honestly, like the Psalms do, and trust his promises that he will never leave or forget you. Reflected on Jesus' suffering as proof that God understands pain and is with you even when it feels otherwise. Reach out to others for support, because God often works through people to bring comfort. Feeling abandoned by God during intense suffering is common and acknowledged in Scripture. The Psalms, Job, and Jesus' experience show us that these feelings are part of a journey toward hope, trust, and eventual restoration. Remember, even in silence, God's presence remains, guiding you through the hardest moments.